Mahmood says, "Are these tongs some kind of toy?" So Mahmood asked if he felt that it is a kind of toy. So Hamid retorts, "Why not? Place them across your shoulders and it is a gun." So he's saying that if you put it on the shoulder, it becomes your gun. And wield them in your hands. Wield means wave. If you wave in your hands, it is like the tongs carried by singing mendicants. So you must have seen some of the religious people like saints or sages. They are wandering in the streets by beating the tongs in their hands. So he is saying that if you just sing along with the tongs, wielding it in your hand, so it becomes you will look like the mendicants, and they can make the same clanging as a pair of cymbals. So cymbals means it's also a kind of musical instrument which consists of thin and normally round plates of various metals, and they are played by beating against each other. So he is saying that it will just clang as a pair of cymbals, and one hit from the tongs and they will all be reduced to dust. So if you want to dust something, so you can just hit one tong only, it will remove all the dust. And much as your toys may try, they could not bend a hair on the head of my tongs. So he is assertively saying that he believed that clay toys are not as strong and as worth spending money as my tongue. And as if we are saying now that you cannot do any harm of me, so the same way he is saying that they could not bend a hair on the head. तुम्हारे क्ले टॉयज मेरा बाल भी बांका नहीं कर सकते. And it is well past 9 a.m. So it was 9 a.m. in the morning and the sun is getting hotter every minute. The pair of tongs has by now managed to divide the boys into two factions. What happened due to these tongs? Now all the boys like Mahmood and Mohsin and all the other boys, they were divided into two factions, two parties. One party was favoring the tong and the other party was against it because they had bought the clay toys. So the pair of tongs has by now managed to divide the boys into two factions. Mohsin, Mahmood, Sami and Noori on one side because they had bought clay toys, and Hamid all by himself on the other. So Hamid was one man army. Hamid's opponents are reluctant to take him in debate. So Hamid's rival opposite party, that means this Mahmood, Sami, Noori, Mohsin, they were having a doubt. They were feeling hesitant to take them in this debate, to take their opinion. But still Hamid is right after all. He said that tongs is the worth spending toy than the clay toys, because if they fall once, they will just break into the pieces. So they are engaged in a heated argument about the supremacy of iron over clay. So now they started arguing, giving their own logics that why their toys are superior to the opponent. So actually iron is the metal and the tong was made up of iron, and the clay is the substance with which the toys were made. So supremacy of iron over clay, Hamid is trying to prove this, that iron is always above the clay, better than clay, and the supporters of clay are fighting a losing battle. So supporters of clay, they are, arguing, but sometimes even when we know the truth and we are arguing, it's a kind of losing battle, because somewhere in our mind we know that we are arguing on the wrong thing, but we do not have that much, simplicity to accept the truth, so we just keep on arguing. So here also it was just happening like this. Hamid argues that the tongs are like a brave tiger because they can reduce all the clay toys to dust. So Hamid is now just presenting his own thought logic that the tong is like a tiger, brave tiger. Why so? So he gives the reason that they can reduce all the clay toys to dust. With the help of the tong, I can just, make your clay toys to dust by beating them. Also, if a real tiger were to attack the clay toys, they would all run and hide, while the tongs would attack the tiger head on. So he is giving another argument why his tong is superior than the clay toy. So he's saying that suppose that if real tiger comes in front of us, so your all clay toys would run away and hide somewhere, but my tong would definitely defend and attack the tiger on its head. And it does not make sense, but our three heroes are utterly squashed by the end of it. So he is saying that our three heroes means this police and lawyer and all, they are squashed by the end, or else we can say the heroes are maybe used for the Mohsin, Sami and the Mahmud. So they are squashed by the end of it. That means at the end of the debate they were all left defeated, and Hamid wins the field. His tongs reign supreme. So Hamid's arguments just win the debate, and as if the tong was the supreme ruler of the all toys kingdom. The boys begin to make terms of peace. Now they all, those who were, not ready to give the toys even just for a second, so they are also beginning to make a very friendly and sociable relationship with the Hamid. So Mohsin starts saying that give me your tongs for a while, you can have my water carrier for the same time. So suppose if you will give me your tong for 5 minutes, you can also take my water carrier for 5 minutes. So now they have started growing interest and they are bargaining actually with the Hamid. Once those who were not ready to even let him touch the clay toy, but now as they can see that he is having a very good toy, a very stronger one than we are having, so they are, they have changed their colors. This is what happens in the world also. When we don't have anything, people just behaves very rudely and with disrespect, but when we have money, when we have power position, they all will come down to you. So both Mahmud and Noori similarly offer their toys. So not only Mohsin but Muhammad and Noori also offered their toys. Hamid has no hesitation in agreeing to these terms, and Hamid obviously from the beginning only he wanted to touch those toys. So he became ready, he agreed to these terms and conditions. So the tongs pass from one hand to another and the toys are in turn handed to Hamid. So one after other boy started taking the tongs, and the same way they were passing on their toys to Hamid. Finally he gets to hold them. How lovely they are. So in the beginning of the chapter we can see that he was, willingly he wished that even for a moment or two I could touch the clay toys. I could hold them in my hands. So finally, that moment comes and he appreciates that how lovely they are. He becomes very happy even to look at them with closely and touching it. So Hamid tries to wipe the tears of his defeated adversaries. So adversaries means the opponent, rival, those who were in the opposite party when the debate was there. So Hamid now was a very good boy. So he just tries to wipe the tears of those losers, and maybe they are not crying, but actually he is just trying to console them with the arguments. He says that I was simply pulling your leg. Honestly, I was. So uh, he is saying so because they do not feel as if Hamid is having good one and they are not having good one. So the good people even cannot see anyone in emotional pain also. How can these tongs made of iron compare with your toys? But they are not consoled. So he is also saying that this iron, you know, tongue, it is not that good, and your toys are very beautiful. There is no comparison of this iron tongue with your toys. Hamid has to admit that no mother will be as pleased with the toys as his granny will be when he sees the tongs. So Hamid knew that when all the children will go back to home, so no one's mother would be so happy to see the toys as my grandmother will be, because all he had was 3 pies and he has no reason to regret the way he has spent them. And he is saying that even I had only 3 pies, and whatever I had as my pocket money, I did not spend it for my toys. Rather, I bought a tongue. So I do not have any kind of regret for that, for spending those 3 pies. By 11, all those who had gone to the fair were back at home. So now it is, about to like 11 o'clock in the watch, and the village was agog with excitement, and the village people, everyone at village was just restless with excitement, because they were so much happy and festivity was going on due to Eid. So Mohsin's little sister ran up to him. So when Mohsin came from the came after buying all these things to home, so his little sister rushed to him and she took away the water carriers out of his hands and began to dance with joy. She was so much happy to see the toy in her brother's hand. Mr. Water Carrier slipped out of her hand, and what happens when she was trying to snatch it from her brother's hand? It slipped and fell on the ground and went to paradise. That means it was died. Actually, the toys are non-living. It does not die, but here, out of fun only, it is written that when it slipped off the hand and fell on the ground, so obviously it was broken. So it went to paradise. After dying, people go to the paradise. That's why. That means the clay toys has broken. The brother and sister began to fight, and soon both had lots to cry about. So both of them started fighting because it was new and they had not played enough with the toy, and it has now broken since it was made up of clay. Now let us see in the Nuri's house. What is Nuri doing? Nuri's lawyer met with a similar fate. So the same thing happened with the Nuri's toy. She had brought the lawyer. He was provided an exalted sitting like a king on his throne, a wooden plank supported by nails driven into the wall. So she had prepared a very comfortable sitting arrangement like a throne of the king, and there was a wooden plank also which was to support, and it was driven into the wall. So much like lawyers in courts who are cooled by electric and push fans. So as if in the court lawyers are given the facilities. Okay, so the toy lawyer is also given such facilities. He was fanned by Nuri using a bamboo leaf fan. So there was a bamboo tree's leaf. So with that, Nuri was just fanning the lawyer toy. And but a strong breeze soon brought him down on the earth. But when the strong wind blew, what happened? It just threw the toy lawyer on the ground, and there was much tears as the remains of the lawyer was dumped on a dung heap. So there was a dung heap there, okay, cow dung, and it just fell on it, and now no much happiness was there in Nuri's eyes, and she was totally in tears, like Mohsin and his sisters were crying. So the same way Nuri also was feeling so sad. Now comes Mahmud's. So Mahmud's turn. Mahmud's policeman was put on duty to guard the entire village, which was the room he was in. So Mahmud, we also do like that. The small children, when they have the toys, they are just playing with them as if they are the living being. So they talk to them, they make them act like that. So Mahmud has appointed the policeman on duty to guard the entire village, where was the village? His own room was considered as a village for a while. He was provided a palanquin to recline in comfort. So he was even provided a palanquin in which the queens, and they were in ancient time, they were carried from one place to another. So the policeman was also provided the palanquin to recline in comfort, okay, to sit back and just sit comfortably. A basket lined with old discarded clothes, and there was a basket also which was lined with the old and just discarded clothes. Mahmud picked up the basket and started on his rounds, and soon enough he stumbled. What did Mahmud do? That palanquin of the policeman which was kept in the basket, and now out of too much overjoyed, Mahmud picked up the basket and he started taking rounds. And what happens? Soon enough he stumbled. So he felt diggy, and maybe he fell down, and Mr. Constable with his gun came crashing down, and he was short of one leg. Now what happens? Mr. Constable means policeman. His gun also came crashing down. Crashing down means broken. Its gun also came down and it was broken, and his one of the legs, clay legs, was also broken. Mahmud the physician tried to fix it with the sticky milk of a banyan sapling, but in vain. So Mahmud tries to give the first aid treatment and tries to give the medical treatment to the toy with a sticky milk of the banyan tree sapling. He just took the sticky milk and tried to fix the broken leg, but in vain. But it was of no use because it could not stick. So Mahmud the surgeon cut the other leg to the size of the broken one, so the chap could at least sit in comfort. So first he just tried to be physician and he tried to fix the leg, but when it was not possible to fix the leg with the sticky milk of banyan tree, so he tried to become a surgeon. Now he will do the surgery. What does surgeon do? they cut and operate. So Mahmood, the surgeon, also cut the other leg to the size of the broken one. So the one leg was which was broken, so he just measured, and according to the size of that broken leg he also cut the another leg, so that the chap, so that his policeman can just at least sit in comfort, otherwise the toy would not be placed properly with one full leg and one half leg. So see, this kind of all funny things are happening everywhere. Now Hamid was also home. Hamid had also reached home. As soon as she heard his voice, she means grandma, Granny Amina ran out of the house. So on hearing Hamid's voice, she comes out and picked him up and kissed him. You can see in the picture. So she rushes and just picks him and holds him, and she showers her love on him. And suddenly she noticed the tongs in his hand, and she watches that he is holding a tong. Where did you find these tongs? I bought them. How much did you pay for them? 3 pies. So Granny was little bit angry. Granny Amina is annoyed that what is this, and how much you have paid for it. What a peculiar child. It is almost noon and you haven't had anything to eat or drink. So from morning, since morning you had gone out of home, and it is about to almost noon, and still you didn't eat or drink anything. You were given the money, 3 pies, and what do you buy? Tongs? Couldn't you find anything better in the fair than this pair of tongs? So you should have bought something for you, better one with which you can play. Hamid replied in injured tones. So he was feared, he was frightened that Granny is scolding me. So in his lowered and sad and complaining tone, he said that you burn your fingers on the iron plate. That is why I bought them. So what reason he is saying? That every day while making chapati, as you do not have tongs, you are turning the chapatis with your hands, and in that process you are burning your fingers every day. The old woman's temper suddenly changed to love, and the granny, who seemed little bit annoyed, angry earlier, after listening to the Hamid's reply, she suddenly changed all the anger to love, and the love that was mute, solid, and sipped with tenderness. And the love was not expressive. She was mute. She could not speak anything. She was speechless because her heart was filled with emotion. That how selfless child he is. All the other children had bought sweets and they had enjoyed on the roundabout and they had bought the clay toys for them. But this child, how selfless he is. What concern for others. What a big heart. How he must have suffered seeing other boys buying toys and gobbling sweets. So Granny is thinking, she is talking to herself that how much pain he would have faced, mental pain, when he had seen the other boys, buying toys and eating the sweets and enjoying. But still, he did not spend his money on all those things. How was he able to suppress his own feelings? She is surprised that at such a young age, how can he, control his emotions? Even at the fair, he thought of his grandmother, not only at home, but when he is at fair, where many attractive things are there, tempted, to tempt him. Even at that time, he is thinking about his old grandmother. Granny Amina's heart was too full for words, and tears flow down her face as she blesses her grandson. So her heart was actually it was full with the words, but she could not speak anything, but those words just came out in the form of tears. Tears flow down on her face, and she just blessed the child. How was Hamid to understand what was going on in her heart? So, Hamid was very small. He might not be able to understand what was going on in Granny's heart, but he was a very good and selfless boy who always thought about the other people first. Now you can just remember the beginning of the chapter where it was written that, do you know anyone who thinks of the happiness of the others more than his or her own happiness? Who is that person? So in the story it is Hamid. And what did the person do for someone else? So here Hamid bought a tongue for her grandmother to save her fingers burning. So you can also find out one such characters from your family or from your friend circles. So we should always respect such people, and we should always be thankful, and we should never forget this kind of acts, and we should also take inspiration. We should also try to become like them. So I hope you would have enjoyed the lesson. Thank you.